Hello viewers, welcome back again to God from the Academy. So if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and even like the video. Okay, so this question came in 2025 biology paper 2 ECZ syllabus. So this was just last year. So the question is saying figure 1 shows a Palisade cell observed under a light microscope. So we have this Palisade cell being observed under a light microscope. Don't forget that a light microscope doesn't show those deep and detailed parts. It only shows those on the surface that can be easily seen. So these are the parts. We have the cell membrane, the nucleus, and we have the cytoplasm. We have A, B, and C. Then it says identify the parts labeled A, B, and C in figure 1. So this is a Palisade cell, and it being a Palisade, you understand that it is a plant cell because Palisade is found in the plants. In the leaves, when you study the structure of a leaf, the internal structure, you understand that we have the Palisade cell. So actually the nucleus is pointing to this. I'm sure here it's not clear, but it is pointing to this. Then the cell membrane is pointing to this inner part because this is the cell membrane. So it's like this. This is pointing to this. Then this is pointing to this. So A is pointing to this outer part, and the outer part is the cell wall in a plant cell. The outer part is always the cell wall. Then B is what? It's this big thing. So we can write here, we're going to say our A is cell wall, the outer part. Then B, look, it's pointing to this big thing inside. This is a vacuum, okay? It's a vacuum. So B is a what? Is a vacuum. So then C is pointing to this. This is a chloroplast, okay? All these are chloroplasts. So this is a chloroplast, C. So it's chloroplast. Then the next question, explain the functions of the part labeled A in figure 1. A, which is the cell wall. What is the function? Basically, you can see that since it is the outer part, the function is to protect the cell from damage and also to give shape or to maintain shape of the cell. So that's the function. You say to protect the cell from damage and maintain the shape of the cell. Of course, it has a lot of functions because these are two. You can split them. Protection is one function and maintaining the shape is another function. But you can write them like that to get a full mark. Give two differences between the cell in figure 1 and the one found in the human trachea. So the two differences between this cell in figure 1 and the one found in the human trachea. So the moment you just hear the question, you even understand what they're asking about, because this cell, I said it is a plant cell, and the one they are asking is found in the human trachea. In the human trachea, meaning it is an animal cell. So basically what they're asking is the difference between the plant cell and the what? And the animal cell. So you need to get that one. So what are you going to say? You just go back to the differences. You understand that a plant cell has the cell wall, part A, whereas an animal cell, the one in the human trachea, doesn't have a cell wall. So that's the first difference. So this is C. 1, you say the cell in figure, so use the words they use. They said figure 1. So you say the cell in figure 1 has a cell wall, while the one in the human trachea doesn't have. That's the first difference. The second one, you understand that the plant cell has chloroplast, okay, because that's where photosynthesis occurs from. Whereas the one in the human trachea, the animal cell, doesn't have chloroplast because us, we don't undergo photosynthesis. So for the second difference, you say the cell in figure 1 has chloroplasts, while the one in the human trachea does not have. So they only needed 2. There are a lot of differences. Then the last question, state the names of any other 2 organelles that would be seen if the cell in figure 1 was observed under an electron microscope. So this is the first point I stretched out in the first place to say this is being observed under a light microscope. Now they are asking if they viewed this and observed this under an electron microscope, give other 2 parts that would be seen. Okay, so you understand that we can see the mitochondria. Here it's not shown because it is a light microscope. When you use an electron, the mitochondria is going to be shown, the powerhouse of the cell. You need to know that question. Why is it considered, what is the powerhouse of the cell? It's the mitochondria. And why is it considered so? So number 1, you are going to have the mitochondria. So that's the first part. Then we are also going to see the endoplasmic reticulum. So, or the endoplasmic reticulum. So the endoplasmic reticulum is of 2 types. We have the rough endoplasmic reticulum and the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Yeah, even the nuclear membrane and all those parts in a detailed plant cell, you can name any of them. Otherwise, this is it. This is 2025. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos.